Have you ever felt so stuck at work that you couldn't do anything? Intense deadlines, numerous responsibilities, and of course perfectionism can get you paralyzed and make you incapable of doing anything at all. You want to be productive, but you are overwhelmed by a multitude of tasks, juggling projects, and trying to meet deadlines that it becomes challenging to even complete a single one. Workload paralysis can be described as the feeling of being overwhelmed by the sheer volume of tasks to complete. Picture workload paralysis as a puzzle with countless pieces scattered and disordered. The effort to assemble this puzzle becomes so daunting that you feel unable to piece together the various components of your task. You are, figuratively speaking, paralyzed by fear, which prevents you from doing anything at all. Tiny and insignificant tasks can feel undoable and challenging. This feeling drains motivation and shuts down your inner strength rather than building up the effort to tackle the issues, leaving you completely directionless. As a result, you procrastinate and your tasks pile up. The procrastination loop begins. You procrastinate, your tasks pile up, this amplifies stress, and in the end, your productivity suffers even more. So you ask yourself, why do you experience workload paralysis? Workload paralysis can actually affect anyone. A high-paced work environment, often unpredictable, and an overload of changes in a short time span, or an intense workload can all induce significant stress, leaving you overwhelmed before you even realize it. Caused by a variety of interdependent factors, it is ultimately a concatenation and accumulation of events leading you to depletion, guilt, and stress. Your body then reacts with a so-called overwhelm freeze, attributed to your brain perceiving your to-do list as a threat. This physiological reaction renders you unable to act, constituting to a freeze reaction activated by your nervous system in the face of perceived threats. Psychologists actually have observed that the body reacts similarly to external threats, such as encountering a bear in the wild, as to internal threats. These internal threats may manifest in the fear of failure or the fear of letting other people down, as well as feelings of incompetence. Experiencing a sense of overwhelm, a situation that is very familiar to a lot of people, can be particularly detrimental to organizations when it becomes a common occurrence among workers or affects employees simultaneously. Repercussions of workload paralysis include disengagement trends such as quiet quitting, a decline in morale, and a diminished sense of belonging, as well as widespread cultural issues at work, leading to an increased turnover. An organization that notices it and takes action can actually turn it into a way to understand their workforce better and help employees to manage their workload. So what can you do as a team member? First of all, be mindful of your mental and physical health. As soon as you find yourself hit by workload paralysis, step away and pause for a second. I know it seems counterintuitive, right? Because you really want to get done. But hear me out for a second. Trust the process and don't judge yourself to avoid getting trapped in the vicious cycle. So do something that takes you out of your habitual environment. It could be going for a walk or a 50-minute exercise, grab a coffee or tea, or call up a friend or speak to a trusted colleague. Ground yourself and take deep breaths before you proceed. Your physical health impacts your mental health, so make sure to build healthy routines. Building a daily routine that promotes 8 hours of sleep, a healthy diet. I, for example, love the 80-20 rule. 80% I try to keep it very nutritious and healthy, and the 20% I indulge in some sugary stuff that I love. And daily exercises as simple as going for an intentional walk will be a game changer. Additionally, you can integrate further relaxation measures, such as taking a hot shower or a bath, meditation practices, and developing awareness of your emotions to control them better. Second, enhance your time management skills to address workload paralysis. In some cases, the root cause of being overwhelmed with tasks is ineffective time management, resulting in looming deadlines and a lot of stress. It may involve allowing yourself being distracted or inefficient planning of resources. Analyze your time allocation and stay tuned for additional tips that tie into improving your time management skills. So next thing you want to do is prepare for deep work and increase your focus. In case you don't know the term deep work, it was coined by Cal Newport, a computer science professor at Georgetown University and author. In his book, he defines deep work as a state of distraction-free concentration when your brain works at its maximum potential. Therefore, try to eliminate everything that could distract you from completing your tasks, such as turning off notifications on your laptop, leaving your phone in a different room or your bag or anywhere where it's out of reach, and maybe find a place that makes you feel very comfortable as well. What I often did is I booked a meeting room, for example, or working from home. I would sometimes also move to the couch where I feel super comfortable, and for extra relaxation, I would sometimes also light up a candle and put on some good tunes. Simple, I know, but it did wonders for me and my productivity. So fourth on my list is a brain dump. Open your laptop and open a new document. Do a brain dump and put all your ideas, your commitments, and your to-dos out of your head and onto the physical list. No limits here. Do it as long as you feel like a sense of relief and until nothing pops up in your brain anymore. So number 5 would be prioritize. Ask yourself, do you really need to do everything on that list? In order to prioritize, I often make use of the Eisenhower matrix. This tool helps to divide your tasks in 4 different categories.
The task you'll do first, the task you'll schedule for later, the task you'll delegate, and the task you'll delete. The tasks you do first are the ones that have clear deadlines, urgency, and you need to do them now. Otherwise, there will be consequences for not completing. The ones you schedule for later are connected to long-term goals and require strategic thinking. No set deadline is present. Tasks that don't require a specific skill set but need to get done can be delegated, and tasks that are a distraction from goals and add no measurable value can be deleted.
Every Monday morning, I do a review and adapt where needed. And last but not least, divide your projects into manageable tasks. If you work on big projects, try to break them down into small milestones and to-dos. Transforming a big project into smaller milestones can ease the tension. Suddenly, the project doesn't seem so overwhelming anymore, and its goals become more achievable. Keep the bigger picture in mind and focus on what you can do right now. Set deadlines for each step. Create a workload plan to allocate resources, and plan in individual tasks into your calendar to stay on track. Reaching milestones will give you a sense of accomplishment and hit you with a dopamine shot once in a while to keep you going. The smaller they are, the easier they are to reach and the more motivated you will be. As we are all unique individuals, workload paralysis can stem from various different factors. Take the time to make a proper audit and figure out which ones resonate the most with you. It could be all or just one, but once identified, you have a guide to tackle it now. I'm actually curious to know what your culprit for work paralysis is, and have you ever experienced it? So feel free to share and leave a comment below. Addressing workplace issues such as any problem requires a two-way effort. We have covered now what employees can do to battle workload paralysis. And now the question at hand is, what can employers do to actually support their employees? Number 1, foster a positive workplace culture by valuing feedback and open communication. Allowing employees to express their thoughts helps them not only feeling heard, but also feeling understood. Distinguish between simple mistakes and intentional sabotage. Treating errors as opportunities for learning rather than deliberate actions. Approach team members' concerns with empathy. Use them to collaboratively develop constructive feedback and action plans. This proactive approach helps to address workload paralysis before it becomes an even more significant issue. Number 2, manage expectations by ensuring employees the precise understanding of their responsibilities. Clearly define the success of a task or project and engage in open communication with your team members to establish a shared understanding. Number 3, and something that is sometimes very often overlooked, invest in technology that promotes productivity, knowledge sharing, and resource planning. My favorite tools I've worked with for over 4 years are ClickUp and Notion. Of course, there are plenty of other tools out there, but if you're interested, you can check them out in the description box below. Number 4 would be establishing mentorship programs for employees facing challenges such as prioritization or time management, to enable them to learn from their more experienced colleagues. Number 5, Pay attention to workload distribution and adapt where necessary to ensure fair and balanced allocation of tasks among team members. Regularly assess the workload dynamics in your team and be ready to reallocate responsibilities based on individual strengths, capacity, and expertise. This flexibility not only promotes efficiency, but also helps prevent workload paralysis, as well as contributes to a healthier work environment. Regular communication and feedback mechanisms can aid in identifying workload imbalances, allowing for timely adjustments and fostering a more collaborative and productive team. Embracing these strategies, employers can contribute to a workplace that nurtures growth, collaboration, and success, preventing workload paralysis to actually escalate into burnout. And remember, Rome wasn't built in one day, so allow for some time for these positive changes to unfold naturally. If you believe this message can make a positive impact, consider sharing it with a friend or colleague or anyone who could benefit from this message, and hit the subscription button and join the community as it grows. See you next time. Bye.